To independent-minded voters, shared power curbs the worst excesses of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democratic. As we can see, Elon Musk is advocating for voting red tomorrow, right? Now, why is this? And in this video, I want to talk about why this should not be taken as Elon Musk being a Republican or supporting conservatism really at all, but more of just a balance of power argument. So if you guys did not see, as I just read this tweet from Elon Musk at 10 a.m. this morning, it was about an hour ago, Elon Musk tweeted and said, to independent-minded voters, shared power curbs the worst excesses of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democratic. Continuing on, he said, hardcore Democrats or Republicans never vote for the other side, so independent voters are the ones who actually decide who's in charge. So basically what he's saying is that in the best antidote to curbing the extremism of one side or the other side, left or right, is to make sure that the Congress that is in there is opposing the president that's in office. So as everybody knows right now, we have Joe Biden. He's a Democrat in office. So Elon is basically saying, look, we have a Democrat in there. The best way to ensure that we have some sort of moderate policy is to elect a Republican Congress. Now, I'm curious about this because Elon has been getting a lot of heat for his acquisition of Twitter, his supporting of free speech. The left has come out and really had a problem with him in the past few days and weeks, as we've seen. So I'm curious how much this does have to do with his ideology, right? Because I don't know, and you guys can let me know what you think down below. I don't know if Elon would have said the same thing if there was a Democratic Congress and a Republican president, right? I'm not sure if, the former president was still in office. I don't know if he would have tweeted saying, I recommend voting for a Democratic Congress, given that the presidency is Republican. I would certainly hope so, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. So let me know what you guys think down below about that. Jack Posobiec responded and said, governors, too, as states offer the greatest bulwarks against federal overreach. And that's true. And I'm curious to see as well this election, just how the governor races go. I know there's a lot of seats that are up, a lot of governors that are running in tight races across the country. Of course, you have the one in Arizona with Kari Lake. I just made a video about her. Her campaign headquarters just got a suspicious package, so go check out that video if you haven't seen it already. But this is absolutely true here from Jack Posobiec. So, and that's another thing I want to talk about in this video is federalism and why that's important in this election. So the Democrats, one of their main points that they're running on in these midterms is the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court, right? And a lot of people don't realize that basically what that did is that it gave the power back to the individual states to make their own laws on abortion. Now, it does allow for the individual states to outlaw abortion completely, which is not going to happen likely in most cases, but it does give them the possibility of doing that. And I think that's where people have the most issue, is that they think that the state should not be allowed to completely outlaw abortion. But for the case for federalism is this, and this is what Jack Posobiec was tweeting about here, is that federalism and the returning of the power to the states really does allow there to be a strong limit on the federal government. Now, whether you support Republican or Democrat, I think we can all agree that it's good to have a limited government in the sense that it cannot just legislate whatever it wants for the entire country. And that was the whole idea behind our Constitution, and the Federalist argument was that not only is it's dangerous for this to happen, for a federal government to have so much centralized power to legislate for the entire country, it's not only dangerous, but it's also impractical, right? Because, California is a much different state than Utah, and Utah is a much different state than Florida, and you could pick any two states. Maine is a lot different than Texas. And when you think about it, it's just not practical to have one city in the U.S., Washington, D.C., legislating and making laws for the entire country at large. So it's definitely a good point from Jack Posobiec here. And like I said, I'm curious to see how these governor races turn out. I think people don't realize how big of a deal the governor's races really are in a lot of cases. But yeah, needless to say that Elon is getting a lot of heat for this tweet today because he basically came out and said vote Republican tomorrow, which is pretty crazy. Elon is basically one of the most influential people in the world, especially now being the owner of Twitter. There's no censoring on his account at all. So I'm curious to see how much of an effect this has on the election tomorrow. Big midterms coming up tomorrow. Another tweet here from Tim Pool. Twitter board members give tens of thousands to Democratic candidates. So this is the old Twitter board, right? And Elon actually has kept some of these people around on his new board, which he's doing that to win over advertiser support. And actually, you know what? In this video, I'm also going to talk about something else I just saw. So if you guys have not seen, relating this to the Twitter board, Elon tweeted today as well, talking about some of the issues he's having with advertising and how advertisers are pulling their money out of Twitter.
And then we also recently had a lot of difficulty with activist groups pressuring major advertisers to stop spending money on Twitter. This is despite us doing everything possible to appease them and to make it clear that moderation rules and hateful conduct rules have not changed, and we're continuing to enforce them. A number of major advertisers have stopped spending on Twitter. This doesn't seem right, because we've made no change in our operations at all, and but nonetheless, the activist groups have been successful in causing a massive drop in Twitter advertising revenue, and we've done our absolute best to appease them, and nothing is working.
Which is really concerning, because advertising is one of the main revenue sources of Twitter. So in order for Twitter to keep going, they need advertiser money. That's just how it is. And they've been pulling their money out of Twitter. But I did see Elon tweet today, and I'm going to try to find this tweet, basically saying that he's looking into legislative action, or not legislative action, but legal action against some of these activist groups for forcing the advertisers or pushing them to remove their money from Twitter. So coming from Tom Fitton here on Twitter, at Tom Fitton, I wonder if Elon Musk's Twitter has tortious interference claims against the left activist groups, which are causing damaging advertiser boycotts of the platform. So I think this is tort law here that he's talking about, and claims against the activist groups that, like I said, were pushing advertiser groups to get off the platform. And Elon Musk said we do. So he's looking into legal action against some of these advertisers. So definitely something to keep your eye on. I mean, this is some pretty big news today. Elon, one of the biggest people, like I said, in the world at this point, basically come out and said vote red tomorrow. So regardless of your political affiliation, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Is this okay? Is it good? Do you think Elon is conservative? Do you think he's hiding as a conservative? Or do you think he's just pushing people to vote, like he said, in order to keep the power somewhat balanced? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We're bringing as much content as we possibly can to keep you guys informed with some unbiased news, unbiased perspective. My channel name is Stating the Obvious. I like to state the obvious and not really give my own opinion too much of the time unless it's really necessary. So subscribe here if you're new. Like the video if you took something from it. And with that being said, this is Joseph Staten, Stating the Obvious. I will see everybody next time. Peace out.